Your non-fiction pick,
Right,
Jeannie.
I chose Notes from No Man's Land. It's by Eula Biss, and she's this relatively obscure writer. She's just getting started. She actually writes a lot on race relations. She opens the book with all of these accusations. Not so much, she has this assertiveness, these accusations of the lynchings that occurred in the early 20th century on telephone poles. She has this beautiful lyric essay on the lynchings and telephone poles, and she ends the book with apologies. And it's really this beautiful meditation and exploration of race relations. She's somebody who's been mainly supported by small literary magazines, such as the one that Dave Eggers runs, McSweeney's. And I just think that's a place for the genuine in literature today, is these small magazines. I agree that, we've been we harp so much on publishing, but there are all of these great magazines that are sprouting up, like A Public Space, McSweeney's, Black Warrior Review, Identity Theory, where Eula Biss originally published.
Again, it's an incredible story. A Burundian young man, a medical student, barely escapes Burundi and then Rwanda with his life, ends up in New York City, penniless, no English, works as a grocery deliverer for $15 a day, sleeps in Central Park. Through the kindness of strangers, first a nun and then a family of academics, he ends up going to Columbia University, getting a degree, then heading on to Harvard, meeting Paul Farmer, a famous public health doctor, and returning to Burundi to start a public health clinic in a village. And Burundi is one of the poorest and least served countries in the world in terms of public health. And in the first year and a half of its operation, the clinic has seen 28,000 people, many from other countries. It's that good. So it's a story of turning your life around, but it's also a story of luck. There's no simple, it's not a question of this guy is a hero. It's a question of this guy has great, admirable qualities, but he had some good luck too. And how many other people are out there with the same abilities without the same luck? It leaves you with questions.
Molly Ivins, I published her. And in the time I was at Random House, I think I published three books by her. And they were always wonderfully successful. And I really appreciated Molly bustling in the office with her sardonic humour. I didn't know her. I really didn't know her. Not until I read Bill Montaglio's book about Molly Ivins did I fully appreciate she had a terrible time. Now, here a case, it's very often true if you meet a humorist or somebody who's very funny, they're coming out of misery. When I used to meet S.J. Perelman here in New York, he was living in a miserable hotel down in Gramercy Park, and he was actually always very depressed, and yet he could write the funniest stuff. Well, Molly had a very difficult life. She got breast cancer. She was a woman in the newsroom, and a woman in the newsroom is regarded as a kind of curiosity. And she was robust and good enough to beat it. And Bill Montaglio's book really makes a flesh and blood character out of Molly Ivins, and she's sorely missed, actually.
Absolutely.
By the way, I would put it this way, a real-life Texan, as big as the state, but with none of the disadvantages of the state.